Yeah, we back. Now, today we got a funny video, man. You know, the Kagame fanboys in the comment section, they mad. The Kagame weed carriers in the comment section, oh, they mad. Let's get into it. Now, I knew this would happen. I get it. It's a polarizing topic, but I recently dropped a video where I was giving my thoughts on Paul Kagame, right? And I know Paul Kagame has a lot of supporters, a lot of detractors, and a lot of people in the middle. So I knew it would elicit some reactions. So I had some guy come into the comment section last night. I actually woke up to this comment in my comment section, and he basically said that he hopes that, Donald Trump, deports me from the country, deports me from the United States, because I had the audacity to speak against the almighty Paul Kagame, right? The untouchable, infallible Paul Kagame. Now, not wasting no time, let's jump straight into the comment. Take a look up on the screen. He said this: I watched all your venomous utterances uplifting a rogue regime and downplaying the concerns of its victims and other marginalized groups. What a disappointment that you are. Do you even know what you are talking about? I can't believe you equated the M23 with the Mali terrorists. You are insane. You seem quick to judge and lack the patience to properly study the issue in the Great Lakes region. Instead, you trifle and trivialize African issues. Your opinion on Kagame is your business. By the way, he gave your fellow Haitians asylum and scholarships after the earthquake. Are you aware of that? However, that doesn't give you the right to discredit a legitimate cause. M23 is a freedom struggle with genuine grievances. The issue in the Kivu region is not a recent phenomenon. These go back to the 1920s during the colonial era. Have you studied it from a historical perspective? Your intellectual laziness speaks volumes. Let me ask you, what kind of a Pan-African sits around defending colonial borders? Africans don't need your type of activism, and I hope Trump deports you, chump. Now, let's get into it. Let's get into it, because, let's get into it, bro. Because first things first, I saw that you commented in my video where I was talking about Paul Kagame being a minerals trafficker, right? Being a middleman for the Western economic supply chains, right? And I noticed in your long essay, right, you wrote a research paper in my comment section, and not one single sentence did you ever deny the allegations, right? You deflected to all different types of topics and discussions. Oh, I hope Trump deports you. Oh, the Haitians got scholarships 15 years ago. The colonial borders. But not once did you ever deny that Kagame is a vassal, a middleman, a minerals trafficker for the Western supply chains. Not once did you ever deny that. That's how I know the only reason you mad is because I criticize your mans. That's the only reason you mad, right? I criticize your man, so now you were triggered, you were mad, you were upset, right? Yeah, so you gave me a piece of your mind. But not once did you ever deny the allegations. But I'm gonna entertain your comment, and I'm gonna go point by point, piece by piece, and I'm gonna deconstruct it, right? And listen, the more of you Kagame fanboys and the more of you Kagame weed carriers get into the comment section, I might end up making a whole series destroying the credibility of Paul Kagame, right? Because this guy's obviously a Paul Kagame propagandist, because he's saying that you are downplaying the concerns of marginalized victims. I didn't do any of that. All I said was Paul Kagame is a charlatan and a minerals trafficker. That's all I did. And you got so mad and so upset that you had to give me a piece of your mind. Listen, I get it, bro. I get it. Paul Kagame, he has good PR work out here in the media, the Western media. Listen, I get it. But anyway, let's get into it, right? I first want to address the attack that he launched against my ethnicity, right? Saying that, how dare you criticize Paul Kagame? He gave you scholarships during the earthquake. Now, to me, that's a weak argument, because I really don't think that's the angle that you want to try to reach me with. You're saying that Paul Kagame gave assistance to the Haitians during the earthquake, during our times of need. Well, guess what? So did the Democratic Republic of the Congo. You're saying that Paul Kagame gave asylum to the Haitians during our times of need. Well, so did the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So that argument falls flat on its face. Also, take a look up on the screen. A significant number of Haitian professionals, particularly in the fields of engineering, medicine, and education, migrated to the Congo, then Zaire, between the 60s and the 70s. This migration was driven by factors like political instability and limited opportunities, coupled with an invitation from the Congolese government and UNESCO seeking skilled workers to aid in the nation's development. Also, take a look up on the screen. A Haitian-born, Boston-based poet explores the personal and political stories of the Haitians who were part of the Congo's decolonization movement. Between 1960 and 1975, thousands of Haitian professionals migrated to the Congo, a fellow black francophone nation that emerged under the revolutionary leadership of Patrice Lumumba. As Daniel Legros-Georges writes in the introduction to this collection, these emigres sought to escape repression in Haiti, start new lives in Africa, and participate in a decolonizing Congo. So, Mr. Commentator in the comment section, if you're trying to attack me by the angle of saying, well, Paul Kagame gave you scholarships 16 years ago, so you should be grateful and ever thankful, that's a weak argument, because the same thing that you say Paul Kagame did, the Congolese people did the exact same thing. And in fact, not only did they help us out in our time of need, but we also sent professionals and our intellectuals over to the Congo. It was mutual exchange. And on top of that, I didn't even take into account the ancestral connection, which many of us also come from that region, present-day Congo. So if you want to criticize me, don't criticize me via my ethnicity. Don't try me there, bro. Don't go there, man. And on top of that, that whole argument is stupid anyway, because if you want to be real, if you want to talk about providing asylum or providing assistance, then France has done more than both the Congo and Rwanda. What are you talking about? You know how many Haitians are living in France, raising families, going to school, living prosperous lives in France? So because of that, I'm now supposed to excuse anything done by Emmanuel Macron or the French government because there's Haitians living in France, receiving asylum in France, getting granted citizenship as French citizens? No. I have like 100 videos, 200 videos. I'm shitting all over the French government. I'm destroying Emmanuel Macron's credibility. I don't give a goddamn about that. Don't come to me talking about we gave you foreign aid because, man, stop, bro. Stop. Don't try me, bro. Don't try to come at a real black man who's a high intellectual. Don't play me, bro. I'll crush your whole fucking argument. Now, that's what I'm gonna do in this video. I'm gonna crush your whole argument back to front, and I'm gonna send it back to you, and I'm gonna shit on Paul Kagame some more. So let's get into it, bro. You say that I'm defending the rogue regime, the incompetent regime down in the Congo, when if you watch my videos, I repeatedly said that the administration of President Felix Tshisekedi has been an absolute failure, and he's not the man for the job. I've said that clear as day directly. I'm not a defender of Felix Tshisekedi or the administration down in the Congo. I am a defender of African sovereignty, right? So yes, when you have minerals traffickers like Paul Kagame, yes, I'm gonna shit on your mans. I'm gonna say this guy's a clown. This guy's a buster. We don't respect this goofball. Like, get out of here, bro. My position on my channel has always remained the same. I believe that African wealth should remain in African hands, right? I believe that what God has blessed the black man with, whatever creator you believe in, God, Allah, the higher powers, whatever they bless the black man with, the gold, the uranium, the oil, the cobalt, whatever, all of that, the vast majority should remain with us. That's always been my position. So if I hold that position, how could I ever respect Paul Kagame? Now, take a look up on the screen. The EU has signed a deal with Rwanda to buy minerals that Rwanda does not have on its soil. Now, I mentioned that in the video that you commented on, but I noticed in your massive research paper that you left in the comment section, you did not once, like I said, deny the allegations. You never denied that Paul Kagame is a minerals trafficker, right? You never denied that he signed a deal with the Western powers to funnel off the minerals to the Western economies, right? You had to start talking about, oh, we gave you foreign aid 20 years ago and shit. You had to deflect to shit that we're not even talking about because he know his man don't got no credibility. He knows his man's a clown. That's why he had to start talking about things that happened back when I was in high school, when I was a child. We talking about 2025. We talking about right now. We talking about a deal that was just signed a couple years ago. Stop giving me flashbacks and throwbacks to defend your mans. Your mans don't got no credibility. And see, I'm not a citizen of Rwanda, so I can speak freely. I can speak my mind. You see, in Rwanda, you can't speak like this. You can't say Paul Kagame is a damn buster and not have a knock on your door. Now, this guy said that I am minimizing and downplaying the concerns of victims and marginalized groups. No, I did not. All I pointed out in my couple of videos was a few contradictions in the mission statement of the M23 movement, right? Like I said, we're all human. We're not perfect. Humans are contradictory. I just simply pointed out the contradictions that I've seen in their movement. Because if you listen to the M23, if you listen to the supporters, if you listen to Paul Kagame, they all say, listen, they are native Congolese, right? They are native Congolese. They are fighting for their land in the Congo, right? That's what Paul Kagame says. That's what they say. That's what their supporters say, right? They are native Congolese. They are native indigenous to the eastern part of the Congo. They are Congolese. They are not Rwandans. They have no connection to Rwanda. That's what they say, right? That's what they say. We are native Congolese being persecuted by the Congolese government. That's what they say. I simply pointed out the contradiction that, okay, you are native Congolese. This is your homeland. This is your motherland. Why are you trafficking minerals to the Rwandan government over the border? If you say you are native Congolese, indigenous Congolese to the eastern part of the Congo, why are you running a minerals trafficking operation and smuggling minerals to Rwanda, who then ships it off to the Western economies? And then on top of that, they say that we are here to defend our territory against the foreign multinationals, against the evil imperialist Westerners who want our resources. So why are you trafficking them to Rwanda, who signed a critical minerals deal with the European Union and sending it off to, Belgium and London and Washington and the boys in the Middle East, you know who I'm talking about? Why are you sending it over there? Why are you sending it to the evil imperialists? Right? The same evil imperialist who says wants to take your land. Why are you shipping it off to them? And if you're native Congolese, why are you giving it to another government? Because that's what they say. They say we have no connection to Rwanda. So why are you working in collaboration with the Rwandan government and enriching the Western economies? Now, I know what they might say. They might say, listen, the colonial borders, the artificial borders. So even though the current Democratic Republic of the Congo is next door to Rwanda, there's ethnic groups and communities on the border regions that exist on both sides of the border, right? And that happens all over the continent. It's not unique to the Great Lakes region. It's not unique to Congo and Uganda and Rwanda and things like that. This happened all over the continent. Take, for example, Nigeria and Niger, for example, right? I've been talking about, the AES a lot on my YouTube channel, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Let's take the Hausa communities that live along the border regions of Nigeria and Niger. Because if you listen to the supporters of the M23 movement, they try to justify this mineral trafficking operation by saying that this land belongs to our ethnic group, right? And our ethnic group lives on both sides of the border, right? So we have tribesmen on the other side of the border, and that's why we traffic the minerals to Rwanda. Now, let's take Nigeria and Niger, for example. Would it make sense for the Hausa men living in Nigeria to begin supporting and providing logistics and weapons and technology to the Hausas that live in Niger so they can extract the uranium and the oil from Niger to funnel it back to Nigeria, to the state coffers in Nigeria, right? And then say that we are fighting for the self-determination. These are fake borders. These are colonial borders. And we are fighting for, Hausa liberation and Hausa self-determination, right? So that's why we are circumventing the military government in Niger, and we are giving the money to Tinubu in Nigeria. And then Tinubu takes these smuggled minerals, the uranium and the oil and the gold from Niger, right? And then he ships it off to London. He ships it off to America. He ships it off to Israel, ships it off to all the Western supply chains around the world, right? Ships it off to Apple and Samsung and everybody else, right? And then everybody tries to paint Tinubu as some African liberator, some African freedom fighter. Like, no, stop. That's my position. That's the only thing I'm criticizing. I'm only criticizing the minerals trafficking operation that ends up supplying and strengthening and enriching the power of our adversaries. That's it. I'm not a supporter of the government of Felix Tshisekedi. I don't got a single video on my channel talking about Felix Tshisekedi. I'm just simply not in agreement with framing the M23 rebel group as some freedom fighter, some freedom struggle, when they're working in collaboration with Paul Kagame, who's working in collaboration with the Western economies, who we say is plundering the wealth of the continent, right? My position has remained consistent. How can I, at one side of my mouth, celebrate and praise Assimi Goïta and Ibrahim Traoré and General Chiani for taking back the uranium, for confiscating the gold, for taking back the gold mines, and then at the same time, I'm going to celebrate Paul Kagame for running one of the biggest mineral trafficking operations to the Western economies in the world? No, my position is I'm consistent. You're the one who's not consistent. You're the one trying to question my credibility as a Pan-Africanist, when in reality, my stance has remained firm. So don't try to frame my criticism of the M23 rebels and try to portray me as somebody who is in support of the government down in the Congo. I'm not in support of the government down in the Congo. I already said in my videos that Felix Tshisekedi is not the man for the job, right? The man for the job to lead a nation like the Congo has to be somebody who's uncompromising, who really has what it takes, who's not afraid to step on some toes and crack some heads. And Felix Tshisekedi is simply not the man for the job. I just don't think that he has what it takes to do what needs to be done, right? I already told you what I would do, but I don't think he would take my course of action. But like I said, man, in my video about Paul Kagame, all I said was I'm simply not in support of the mineral trafficking operation that he's currently running out of Kigali. That's all I said, right? And I would hold the same position for anybody else on the continent, right? If the ethnic groups that live along the border of Ghana and Togo did the same thing, like if you had some guys down in Ghana supporting some guys down in Togo to funnel the Togolese resources back to Ghana, I would not be in support of that either. The same way I would not be in support of some guys in northern Nigeria trying to smuggle the uranium from Niger to send it down to Tinubu down in Nigeria. I wouldn't be in support of any of these cross-border mineral trafficking operations that end up in the state coffers of these Western economies. Now, if the M23 rebel movement was saying like, listen, we about to take over the gold mines, we about to take back the coltan mines, we about to take back the resources and the minerals, right? We about to take it all back, we about to cut off the tap. Then I would have been on my channel. I would have been in full support, riding 100% for the M23, just like I'll be riding for the AES, just like I'll be riding for Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. But I don't see that the M23 movement is trying to really take back the resources. No, what I see is them trying to control the trade routes. That's what I see. They're not really trying to, cut off the tap and cut off the Western economies. No, they're simply trying to control the trade routes to the Western economies. That's different. Because if it was about taking back the resources, then you claim to be native Congolese. They claim to be native Congolese. You would be taking back the resources for your homeland, the Congo. But that's not what you're doing. You're sending it to Rwanda, who then sends it all over the world, which is fine. Do your thing. Get your money. But don't try to come at me and say, I'm a freedom fighter. I'm fighting for African sovereignty. No, you're not. You getting your money. You getting money. That's what you getting money. That's what you're doing. Get your money. Get your money, bro. But don't claim that, we fighting for African sovereignty. No, you're not. That's my whole thing. And the other day, I seen the leader of the M23, or the spokesperson, saying that, he plans to, march down to the capital, and take over the whole country. We're going to take over the whole Congo, right? Now, at that point, the entire country, the entire Congo would be a vassal of Rwanda. And Rwanda is a vassal of the Western economies. So as you can see, the hierarchy that would be established. Now, this guy questioned my credibility as a Pan-Africanist. Now, if he was really a Pan-Africanist, right, and you actually cared about African sovereignty, right, then you would be calling out Paul Kagame for the same thing I'm calling him out for being a middleman, for being a minerals trafficker, facilitating the plunder and the transportation of Africa's resources for Western profit, for Western benefit. Because like I said, not once in your comment did you ever deny the allegations. Because the allegations can't be denied. He already signed billion-dollar deals for Rwanda to be a major supplier of all these natural resources that are mainly found in the Congo. The deal's already signed. It's public information. So that's why you cannot deny the allegations. So instead, you have to attack me based on my ethnicity and my credibility. Like I said, my main contradiction is the fact that Rwanda is complicit in this minerals trafficking operation. And we all know if the roles were reversed, right? Let's say the shoe was on the other foot. Knowing who Paul Kagame is, we understand the personality of Paul Kagame. Let's say the roles were reversed. And let's say the minerals and the resources and the wealth and everything was found on the Rwandan side of the border, right? Let's say it was found in Rwanda, right? Would Kagame and his supporters be okay with the Congolese Tutsis smuggling the Rwandan resources into the DRC under the same pretext? Let's say that instead of the Congo, it was Rwanda that all these vast minerals were held. Would Kagame's government be okay with the communities that live along the border to be smuggling the Rwandan natural resources into the Congo, paying taxes and giving the profit and benefits to the Congolese government and bypassing the Rwandan government, bypassing Kagame's government? Would he be okay with that? Of course not. We understand Paul Kagame. We know what personality that he has. He would call it treason. He would call it economic sabotage. And honestly, more than likely, he would probably launch a military campaign against the Congolese government because he would assume that they are complicit and they are benefiting and profiting and also supporting this minerals trafficking operation along the border. So he would probably mobilize the army to get this under control. So like I said, that's my only position. That's my only position, right? In my videos on the topic, especially the first one, I was extremely diplomatic. I asked a few people what they thought, and they said, you were super diplomatic, bro. I don't know how anybody could be mad at your analysis. You were well-balanced, diplomatic. You're not emotional. I gave equal criticism to both the Rwandan government and the Congolese government, right? I criticized the government in Rwanda for being complicit in the minerals trafficking and the destabilization of the Eastern Congo. And I also criticized the Congolese government for being incompetent and not being able to defend itself. And I know you're under arms embargo. I know you're under certain sanctions. I know you get the least amount of foreign aid per capita in the whole region. I get it. You're fighting with your hands behind your back. But like I said, if I was leader of the Congo, I told you what I would do. And I just don't think that President Felix Tshisekedi is up to the job. But simply due to the fact that I criticized Paul Kagame, right? The untouchable, infallible, almighty Paul Kagame. I got individuals in the comment section, some of whom have never commented on my videos ever until today. Now they so mad because I didn't bow down and pay tribute and give honor and praise to the almighty Paul Kagame. Please. Now, there were also some people who came into the comment section and said, but Nefakari, Ibrahim Traore, he rocks with Paul Kagame. Assimi Goita, he rocks with Paul Kagame. Yeah, and that's true. I mean, they also rock with, Saudi Arabia and the UAE. So simply because Ibrahim Traore or Assimi Goita, they might have diplomatic relations with Paul Kagame, I'm supposed to automatically respect Paul Kagame also? That's not how it works. Because just because they have relations with the UAE or Saudi Arabia, I'm not automatically going to jump on the Saudi Arabian bandwagon or the UAE bandwagon because of that. So just like they have relations with Paul Kagame, I'm not going to automatically become a Paul Kagame fanboy and a weed carrier simply because Paul Kagame shook hands with a foreign minister in Mali. No, that's not how it works, man. We have our own independent thoughts on this channel. But ultimately, to clarify my position, yes, I believe that the government down in the Congo is incompetent. I don't believe that Felix Tshisekedi is the man for the job, right? I don't think he has the personality and the mentality to do what needs to be done. But that doesn't mean that I'm in support of M23. And until M23 shuts down that mineral trafficking operation that they got running through the border into Rwanda and into the Western economies, I'm never going to be in support of M23. I'm never going to see it as a freedom struggle. I'm going to view it as a cartel. I'm going to view it as a cartel. The same way the cartels down in Latin America, they sell drugs. Y'all boys, y'all got an operation, you selling critical minerals. And the money it brings in is no different than the drug dealers. Y'all boys making millions and millions and millions of dollars smuggling these minerals, trafficking these minerals. The same way them boys down in Latin America trafficking the cocaine. Take a look up on the screen. Mineral exports from Rwanda are now over $1 billion a year. That's about double what they were 2 years ago. And we don't know how much, but a fair chunk of that is from the DRC, the Congo. In 2023, the UAE declared importing about $885 million in gold from Rwanda, a 75% jump from the previous 5-year average. And of course, like we mentioned before, Rwanda recently signed a critical minerals deal with the EU, right, for minerals that they don't even have on their own soil. That's been my only criticism of Paul Kagame. All I said was, I understand why they give you so much foreign aid and economic aid and military aid. I understand why you're the man on the continent that they feel comfortable giving all the money and guns to. I understand. Now, I seen that there was some, Western governments that tried to condemn Paul Kagame and his support of M23. But like I said, those are just empty condemnations, man. Until we see some sanctions, until we see some embargoes on the exports of the critical minerals, to me, that's just empty condemnations. They just wasting their breath. They just doing that for the optics. Because the deal's already signed, right? The deal is already signed. So until they terminate the agreement, until they place an embargo on the exports of the critical minerals coming out of Rwanda, then to me, like I said, I don't look at any condemnations coming from the West as having any substance. Now, there are some individuals who try to justify Kagame's actions using the might makes right mentality by saying that if Rwanda is strong enough or organized enough to extract the resources out of the Congo and destabilize the Eastern Congo, then that's Congo's fault for not being strong enough to defend itself, right? Now, you cannot use the might makes right mentality and then at the same time try to play the sympathy card by saying that, oh, we are victims and we are being marginalized and oppressed. But at the same time, you're justifying your actions by saying, well, I'm stronger than you. You can't have it both ways, unfortunately. You cannot say that this is a freedom struggle for the marginalized victims and then at the same time justifying your actions by saying that, well, you're not strong enough to defend yourself, so too bad. You got to pick a side and stay on that side. Either might makes right, and you believe that if you're strong enough, then you have the right to do whatever you want, or you play the sympathy card and you are a marginalized victim and all you're looking for is fairness and equality. You have to pick a side, but you cannot play both sides. And that's my thing. In summary, I just find some contradictions in the movement. That's all. The leaders of the movement and the supporters of the movement have to reconcile with some of the contradictions in their mission statement instead of simply blindly following an ideology. Because even on my channel, I got major love for the AES. I got major love for the boys in the Sahel. But even I've made videos criticizing Ibrahim Traore. I've never been a blind follower. If I see contradictions, I'm going to point it out. Just because I criticize Paul Kagame, the international minerals trafficker, doesn't mean that my credibility as a Pan-Africanist comes into question. Paul Kagame is not the authenticator of Pan-Africanism, okay? He's just an anorexic minerals trafficker with a big head. Literally. Damn. Anyways, man, it's your boy Neferkar. That's the lane back in the Billy. Yes, indeed. Cash app in the description. Support the channel, man. Support the album. Peace.
Yeah, I'm focused on fortification. I'm trying to step out of the matrix. I'm finna be all in your playlist. The haters gon' look and amaze me. I'm taking my time and I'm patient. They tell me I make it look easy. I'm going and they never gon' reach me. I cut off my phone, I'm back on my zone. Yeah, I'm back on my own. The king of my castle and forging my own path. I'm back on the dawn. I know they be watching it lately. I'm pressing the gas. These niggas be clones. They selling they soul for currency. I be like, man, just leave me alone. Lil' mama, she look like a dancer. I'm back in my zone. I got hundreds and fifties. They treat me just like I'm a master. I'm back in the city. I'm feeling imperial, plotting on power expansion. I can't show no love. I got pain in my heart, but I hide it when I'm on the camera. I'm young and I'm raising the standard, and now I don't be doing no features. These niggas be talking about killing and robbing. I'm steady relaxing leisure. The spirit of kings, we never gon' die. We taking it back with the leaders. They came and invaded the enemy, raided and put all that shit in museums. Real talk, and I still can't believe it. I pull up and shine on them. I pull up and ride on them. I pull up and flex with the team. You know we gon' style on them. I'm cold like 7 degrees whenever I rhyme on them. This shit like COINTELPRO. My nigga, they spine on us. Fuck how they feeling, I'm bossed up. Enemy finna get tossed up. Come on, I'm blocking and buy it up. Back in the biz, I'm riding up. I'm ready for war and they hiding out. I told the creator I'm riding out. They up in the crib and they popping out. I'm close to the limit, I've been in route. Yeah. Weight on my shoulders, it feel like a boulder. Ghost written by the kings, I decoded like high priest. That a foul done wrote it. pretty soon we gon' be on the top. Yeah, I'm focused on fortification. I'm trying to step out of the matrix. I'm finna be all in your playlist. The haters gon' look and amaze me. I'm taking my time and I'm patient. They tell me I make it look easy. I'm going and they never gon' reach me. I cut off my phone, I'm back on my zone, yeah. I'm back on my own, the king of my castle and forging my own path. I'm back on the dawn, I know they be watching it lately, I'm pressing the gas. These niggas be clones, they selling they soul for currency. I be like,